Hi, I'm Rita Wilkins, also known as the Downsizing Designer. Tonight it's Tuesday, the night I get on with you on Facebook Live to talk about downsizing, decluttering, lifestyle, minimalism, and just having a simpler life with less. So tonight's topic is, are you fed up with the mess and the clutter in your home and in your life? Because I've got a decluttering guide that can be tailored specifically to you. So if you've been wondering what it would be like to come home to a clutter-free, organized home, one that is peaceful, rather than being accosted or overwhelmed by that clutter wherever you look the minute you walk in the door, we've all done this. And then when you leave the house, do you oftentimes just waste time looking for where you put your keys, where you put your purse or your phone? So what would it feel like if you could look forward to coming home to that very pristine, uncluttered house rather than dreading it? So it's almost impossible to understand just how much clutter does impact our lives. The cost of clutter is both physical and also mental. And so here's just a few examples that maybe you have experienced yourself. One is sleep. People that sleep in a cluttered room often have difficulty falling asleep. When they do get to sleep, they don't get the quality of sleep that they actually need, so that they don't get the full amount of rest that you really need. The second thing that is impacted by clutter is, of course, our focus. So people who live and work in cluttered environments have difficulty focusing, thinking clearly, and just concentrating. Another one, and this is not much of a surprise, but when I was doing some research, I thought, that fits me sometimes. So eating habits. So when you live and work in an environment with too much clutter, oftentimes you have trouble controlling the impulse to eat or to overindulge. Because that's a way of dealing with that increased stress or anxiety that's caused by clutter. So if your kitchen counter is cluttered, you might find yourself just picking some of the wrong foods. The next one is relationships. So too much clutter limits the amount of quality time that we can spend connecting with our loved ones. And it can also cause friction and disagreements, which lowers the quality of the relationships. So there are many reasons that people choose to not to deal with clutter, choose to procrastinate, even though they realize that it is impacting their lives. So according to some studies, 33% say that they don't have enough space in their house. That's why they just let it continue to pile up. The next stat is 27% claim that they don't have enough time to deal with it, so therefore they'll take care of it someday. And then 25% actually admit that they have so much clutter and they would like to declutter, but they don't even know where to start. So there really are also deeper, more emotional reasons why we allow clutter to enter our homes and to build up. One is just overwhelm, so too much to deal with, no idea where to start, so therefore I'm just going to let it continue. The next one is sentimentality, and many of you responded to a post that I had over the weekend about what kind of clutter bothers you the most, and for sure sentimental items is really high on many people's list because they keep certain items because it reminds them of people or events, places in their past, and they're afraid that they're going to lose those memories. A third deeper reason and more emotional reason why we declutter is because we have the fear of letting go. So we might need it someday, or maybe we'll lose that memory. And then another one still is safety and security. So frankly, some people are actually comforted by the amount of clutter they have around them. I know one of my family members, he was very much of that ilk where it just made him feel safe and secure to have all of that stuff around him. So how do you remove clutter from your home and from your life? So this is a guide, and it's going to be kind of a self-help guide, because I'm just going to give you some general ideas, and it's going to be up to you to implement. And if you'd like, I'll be glad to put this in a PDF form, and I'll be glad to send it to you. If you want that, it'll be at ritawilkins@ritawilkins.com. So the first one, and I always start with this, just know why you want to declutter. So write down very specifically how it's impacting your life. So it could be your health, it could be, your relationship, whatever it is, but make sure you're very clear about how it's impacting you. It's the pain that you're feeling because of the clutter. The second one is to commit to doing the work. It's not easy. And if you're going to, start and then stop, then why don't you just wait until you're fully committed? So when you're fully committed, it will happen. So remember, without action, nothing happens, and everything would just remain the same. And as a matter of fact, it might even get worse. So commit to doing the work. The third one is to put it on your calendar. And I personally like physical calendars because it's visible. So whether you put it on your refrigerator, on your desk, whatever, but schedule the times each day, each week that you are going to commit, an hour, 2 hours, 15 minutes. Schedule the dates and the times that you can and you will commit to decluttering. And the fourth one is to create a plan and of how you're going to implement this, and one that you'll stick to. Now, I highly recommend that you just do it into manageable chunks of time and space so that you can see progress each time, and that'll keep you motivated. Then another one is to pick one area of your home to start. Now, the way I like to talk to people about decluttering is just ask them what area bothers you the most. It could be your kitchen counter. It could be your master bedroom closet because you can't find clothes. It could be, any area of your home. So once you pick the area of your home, pick the type of clutter that bothers you the most. It's called a category. So let's say in your closet, the category that you want to declutter is clothes that don't fit or clothes that you never wear. If it's your home office, it's paper that you no longer need or paper that you have to deal with and file. If it's in the family room, it could be toys, and then what you want to declutter there would be ones that the kids have outgrown, or they're broken, or they don't even play with them anymore. And then if it's in the kitchen, it could be your pantry, so look for out-of-date things that you want to declutter. So this is something you're going to personalize. It doesn't, I'm not going to say it's easy to make a plan, but without a plan, it's just a little bit more difficult. So I strongly recommend that you pick one area to start decluttering, and then pick the area that bothers you the most and the type of clutter that bothers you the most. And then you just progress through your home one area at a time by sorting into piles. The discard's always the easiest one to get rid of. And then donate, sell, recycle, or repurpose. The next thing is to try different decluttering methods. So there's no one-size-fits-all for decluttering and a decluttering method. So I've talked about this before. So I would strongly recommend you try different ones and pick the ones that come naturally to you, that it feels right, and that you're successful at it. So it could be that you are, slow and more laborious. You want to take your time. You want to sort through every single thing. Or it could be that you're just the get it done type, and you're going to go quick and just make quick decisions. So who knows, what type you are, but I would strongly recommend that you pick one that fits you. And after you've tried different methods, for sure the different decluttering methods have, been used over and over again. There are a few that have increased in popularity that I haven't talked that much about, and it has more to do with an alignment of a minimalist mindset. So the first one there is a functional approach to decluttering. So minimalist is all about, function. So if the item serves a purpose to you, and if you value it, then keep it. If it doesn't, let it go. The next newer trend is sustainability, and of course we're all concerned about our environment. This also has to do with heart. So before you put something into the trash, consider the impact on the environment, and it might be well that it would be recycled, repurposed, donated to a community organization or to a family in need. So I think this one serves on many levels, and the one serving with decluttering with heart has always been important to me, to repurpose some of the clothing or furniture, whatever it is, to people in need. And then the last newer trend is the intuitive approach, which I've kind of already talked about. It's your home, it's your clutter. So be authentic about the process. This really means a lot to you. Keep it. If it means nothing to you, then do something with that. Number 7 is organize as you go, but only after you declutter first. You've heard me talk about this before. Too many people are anxious to get out there and buy all those pretty baskets and plastic bins, but that's not going to serve a purpose until you start getting rid of things that you don't want, need, or use. So by decluttering an area and reducing it to only what you want, need, and will use, then organize the space so you'll know exactly where everything is to go. So in the dresser, the closet, the medicine cabinet, it feels so good to complete one area, check it off, and that gives momentum to move on to the next area. So organize first, just the opposite. Declutter first and organize next. And then the next step is maintenance. Now maintenance, frankly, is just as important as the decluttering, because you don't want to get back into the same old. You need to be consistent. Decluttering is ongoing. It never really will end, nor will organizing. So decluttering needs to become a habit, and so does organizing. And once it's decluttered, the bottom line is it's so much easier to organize. And the 9th step is to commit to buying only what you need. And I know this is hard because we're always tempted, but if you want to live that simpler, less cluttered life, after you've decluttered your home, remind yourself of how it used to feel when you walked in that door. Your experience now will be completely different because you can truly enjoy coming home. So I hope this helps. I'm going to leave you with one of my favorite quotes. For the longest time, I thought I needed to be more organized. Now I know I just needed to have less stuff. So hope this helps. I will talk to you then next week.